I still remember the review in Sacramento-based. It said, the keyboardist sang 3 selections to a smattering of booze.
Welcome to True Tunes at 45 RPM, the short-form version of the ongoing conversation you'll hear on the True Tunes podcast and in the digital pages at truetunes.com. And now your host, John J. Thompson.
Hey there, I'm John J. Thompson, and on this special edition of the True Tunes podcast, we are giving you a sneak peek at a brand new, really old, previously unheard, very cool, historically significant EP from one of our guiding lights around here, Mr. Charlie Peacock. The Kahne Sessions contains 6 songs originally recorded by Charlie in 1980 and 81 with noted alternative rock producer David Kahne. These sessions were part of a major label development deal that was struck years before Peacock's debut album, Lie Down in the Grass, would blow all of our minds. You'll definitely hear many ways in which those roots would blossom into future Peacock productions. This new EP inspired us to go deeper into Charlie's musical history than you might have ever heard explored before. His recent book, Roots and Rhythm, travels many a winding road of Charlie's family life and musical background, and we'll serve up our take in that history to you very soon. But for now, let us give you an appetizer as Charlie unlocks the vault to bring us the Kahne Sessions as we head to Charlie's studio for this sit down. Found some new old music.
Yes. Well, I knew it was there.
You knew it was there. You just hid it from us very effectively. So let's start with that.
This is sort of introducing this old new music as kind of a way at this stage of life and at my age and after having a long 50-year career. Now it's, I'm just playing with things. I'm just like, well, yeah, let's do that now. Yeah. But part of it is also based on one of my great frustrations is also one of my great joys, which is that moving to Nashville, meeting so many incredible people, working with so many great artists, being involved in Christian music and as a songwriter and as an artist and a producer. But also from my perspective, my artistic perspective, that's a very small part of a larger whole, right? But for many people, it defines me and it's the most important thing I've ever done. And so going back to these songs, it's one way of helping people see like, hey, before you even heard of me, I was working for 15 years.
Right.
When I moved to Nashville, I was 33 years old. And so that, for many people, that was the moment. It wasn't the Exit Records stuff. That was the moment that I appeared on the scene, right?
Right.
And so, when Andy and I got married in 1975, I was a working musician then, / dishwasher, fry cook, which I would do for a week or 2 weeks and then quit and have another gig. And at that time, I played pop music in cover bands and played jazz with the up and coming serious, young jazz musicians in Northern California. And in those days, I lived an hour and a half from San Francisco. And San Francisco was still very much a hotbed of American music, hugely so, and very diverse. And it also amplified my impulse already to be in racially diverse bands. And so I grew up, playing with a wide range of ethnic combinations, right? Because I grew up with East Indian kids, I grew up with Japanese, Greek, Chinese, African American, tons of musicians.
Not very old by the time you get you get a pretty legendary producer to want to collaborate with you, but I'm hearing a kid who sounds like Joe Jackson or...
Well, that's a great point to make, because then you see what happens when, someone like me, which is like Joe Jackson, which is like Sting,
yeah,
right? Because we all have the same background.
Right.
And we were all drinking from the same fountain.
Yeah.
Right. And now we turn our attention towards maybe I should be a pop star, maybe, because by this time I've already gone to all the major jazz clubs, right, and seen the greatest jazz musicians in the world play to 125 people. And so the kid in me, the aspiring musician is like, well, if that's the end,
right.
Not everybody, like Miles gets to play at the Greek Theater. Right. Most people are going to be playing in these kinds of rooms like this, and they're going to play 3 or 4 nights in a row, right? And then they're going to move on to the next metropolitan city. And I was just thinking more like, yeah, but I love hits. I love pop hits. I have since I was a little kid, right? So I started thinking about that as artistry as well. David Kahne because I knew he had been in this band with another person that I knew named Roger Voudouris, who was a Warner Brothers recording artist at the time. And I had worked with him very shortly. And so I went to David Kahne. I was like, hey, A&M has given me this development deal, and, I'd like for you to be my producer. And we went into the studio. I thought the song American Music would be the hit song.
It's interesting that you're already at a young age, you're writing songs that have multiple meanings. You're kind of being a little sardonic, a little, like, I could see how top 40 listeners might say, oh, he loves American music, but you're also, I think, being a little sarcastic. There's a little salt in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is he going, I'm a jazz player and I'm pretty smart and I'm going to play this dumb song for you kids.
Yeah.
Is there a little of that going on?
Well, I didn't think it was a dumb song, but there was definitely a little of
Is Joe
that.
Jackson-y in that snark?
Yes, there was
a little
some
snark.
There was some snark in there because it was more like gigantic ego of like, hey, silly top 40 listener, you have no idea of the depth and breadth of music that I can play at my age, right? And unfortunately, the system won't allow me to reveal that. There is no lane by which, me and my group of cronies can reveal, our brilliance.
It wouldn't be safe for you kids.
And so we're going to just kind of synthesize it down into this 3.5-minute pop song, and hopefully some of it will leak into there, and a little bit of a wink too. But then you have like on Rhythm Girls, where we do sort of branch out a little bit with the thing like where Steve Urgiaga's guitar part, that will come back later in all kinds of different records, just that tease of jazz, right? And even though Mark didn't play jazz on it because he just did long whole notes mostly in the rapid kind of tonguing trumpet part. But yeah, that was when Mark Isham was in a band called Group 87 and in Rubisa Patrol with Art Landy, who I used to go see all the time. And then, Mark went on to become massively, well-known film composer.
It sounds very advanced, especially for demos, technologically.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Yeah, I mean, they were demos in our mind, at that time, but with the idea that, like, well, if we get another shot, we'll do other things.
Right.
But we definitely were trying to flesh out a sound that represented my idiosyncrasies, but was pointed enough in the direction of the culture that it would have a shot at connecting with one of the major labels.
Right.
And I think that's another thing maybe we can point out is that, yeah, I mean, I want to be signed to a major label. I want to be on Top 40 radio, and I want to make gold records, right? And so in my mind, that was always the goal. There was never any other goal than that. And it wasn't because I had sat and thought about it a lot. It's just what I was enculturated into. And so, and early on, I learned that that's what the game was.
And that reminds me that a lot of what we hear in these demos, I can hear you're kind of playing with a lot of that sound that's going to blend world music and pop and some of those jazz elements and even some of the melodic things that we're going to hear in Lie Down in the Grass a couple of years later.
He was brilliant at taking my hints at where I wanted to go, or sort of unpolished elements, and then helping me take them to the next level. Because there were a lot of recording technique things that I just didn't know yet.
Right.
If there were any critique about the music on this Kahne Sessions, it was like, well, I don't know if there's a hit yet. You were constantly confronted with that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a hit yet. It's great, shows great potential, all of that, right? But I don't know if there's a hit yet. I was not prepared for it at all. I was on my worst behavior, and it just was not good. I mean, I knew it wasn't good. And so they passed on, converting it to a full record deal. So David, I think he felt like, you know what, you need to take care of your substance abuse problems, number one. But I really do think you have something here. So David and I shook hands and said, well, hey, it didn't really work out. He went on to work, go to Columbia Records and help Howie Klein build this 415 Records, which had Translator and Wire Train and other great Romeo Void of the era. That's how Aaron got in Romeo Void.
Right.
So there's a lot of tapestry there. And then the next crop of music business people started showing up.
Is there a rhyme and a reason, a cause and effect? Was all this directly related to the fact I want a big man shot? I want a big man shot. Oh, yeah, I want a big man shot. I want a big man shot. I want a big man shot. I want a big man shot.
Thanks, Charlie. And trust me when I say that there is a lot more where that came from. Now, this would be a good time to subscribe to the True Tunes podcast on whatever platform you prefer. We will be back soon, and you do not want to miss a beat.
Thank you.
That's all for now. The Run Out Groove is coming. If you dig the show, please subscribe and spread the word. Also, please leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts, subscribe to our email list at truetunes.com, and find and follow our weekly Spotify Gallery Stage mixtape. And you can support the show through our patreon.com/TrueTunes community or via a one-time tip linked on the show notes page. So tell your friends about the show, post it on your socials, and let us know what you think. Thanks.
This podcast is produced by John J. Thompson and Bruce A. Brown for Gyroscope Productions and is intended for the private use of our listening audience. The contents are protected by US copyright law and are the intellectual property of Gyroscope Productions, with the exception of songs or clips that are from previously copywritten materials. Everything on this episode is used by permission or under fair use provisions. Thanks for listening. Cheers. We'll see you next time.
Everything I do gonna be funky.